Well, hello. I know, long time between drinks, but I've got an extra special reason for coming live today. I'm actually making a recipe out of our latest magazine. And the reason for this is tomorrow I have a live in-person free cooking class. So we're going back. So if you've not been following me before, my name's Denise. I've been a consultant for nearly 17 years. So the recipes I'm going to be doing tomorrow are from way back in our original TM31 days. So it's been 25 years since Grace brought Thermomix to Australia, and she started in her garage. So we're calling it the Garage Celebration. So tomorrow I'm going to have a 31, a 5, a 6 and a 7, and we're going to be cooking a number of dishes from the TM7, but doing the old retro recipes. So I'd love to know, how long have you had a Thermomix? Just pop in the comments how long you've had a Thermomix. Did you have a TM31, and did you have a demo? So back in the day, you'd have a demo. We used to do 5 dishes. So today, I'm actually doing the Torte Caprese, which we always made at our in-person cooking classes. But in the magazine, it's been reinvented, and it's called Torte Caprese al limone. So it's a lemon. It's got limoncello in it, but it's got lemon zest and lemon juice, and it's the Torte Caprese but reinvented. And tomorrow at the class, I'm going to be doing the old sorbet. I'm doing apple, mint and lime sorbet. Thought it sounded nice and refreshing for summer. We're going to go back to our most classic dip, the herb and garlic dip, where we leave some of that in the bowl, and that becomes the dressing for our beetroot salad. So if you've never made the beetroot salad, you must absolutely give it a go. So this is way back from, over 20 years ago, this recipe. And then I'm going to be doing a recipe that's been reinvented, and it's called the velouté. So we used to do a soup and a sauce and steamed chicken and vegetables. So it's been reinvented as well. So that's our menu for tomorrow, plus our cake. So let me get on with it. I have got the recipe up here just to give me a little bit of a prompt, but I'm just going to refer to the quantities in the magazines. So at the moment this recipe is not on Cookie Doo, so I'm going old school and reading it off the magazine. So just need to get my chocolate out of the fridge. So instead of brown chocolate or dark chocolate, we're using white chocolate. So, and may have had to have had a little sample, because the way they package it these days, back in the day, you'd always get 250 grams of chocolate in your block of chocolate. Yes? So now with shrinkflation, the price has gone ridiculous, but they also give you less. So at least with chocolate, you can see the size of the packet. If you bought a packet of chips lately, you open the bag and it's full of air. It's crazy. Anywho, so it wants me to put my oven on. I'm going to do that later. Then now I'm not making a round cake. I'm actually doing mine as a slice, just because for cooking classes, it works out a lot easier. So, okay, the recipe on here, actually, did you notice that? It was on 0. When you take the lid off, it stays at 0 because it recognizes the magnet. When you take it off, it actually stays at 0. But the recipe here actually wants 200 grams of white chocolate. So I'll use the rest of my packet here, because I had to taste test and make sure that it was okay. I can't tell you the last time I had white chocolate, but anywho, so we've got our white chocolate. And you know what? Because I've got this and it will save me eating it all, I'm actually going to put a little bit more chocolate in, and I'll cut back on the sugar, okay? Actually, I just realised I've gone and done that wrong, because with this recipe, I need to do my lemon zest. So I want a really nice dry bowl. So if I come back, preheat, okay, it wants me to place the sugar and the lemon rind. Actually, no, it doesn't. I am right. Okay, back to the drawing board. If you've been following me for a while, I have not changed. I'm still loosey-goosey all over the place. So we're going to do 250, and I think more chocolate and less sugar, because I mean, this is sugar anyway, isn't it? So 250. Oh, look at that, perfect. That will save me having to nibble at that later. So next, we're going to blend this down. Loud noise coming. Next, transfer into a bowl and set aside. Looks like snow. Wow, that's amazing. Oh, yum, smells good already. So now I'm not going to worry about what my bowl looks like, because I'm going to be doing my almonds next, I'm pretty sure. Yep, 250 grams. Actually, in this recipe, it wants 300, so I'm going to go to 300. So I'm keeping all the components the same, but just changing the chocolate for the sugar. So 250, 300. Now the recipe in the magazine asks for blanched almonds. You know, I can understand that they probably want it nice and white, but I went to look for blanched almonds. You can blanch your own, but I just didn't have time. So I'm just using whole almonds. So if you want to use almond meal, I just rather mill my own as I need it. So then we're going to blend that. Oh, lovely. So it's going to have more little brown flecks. Now, did you know if you've got a TM7, there's actually a repeat button. So I'm going to give that a quick, scrape down, because I actually put more almonds than this recipe asks for. So I'm just going to hit repeat, and do it for now. Next, transfer into the bowl with the chocolate. That's better. So that's now my almond meal. So now, if you're a purist, you absolutely would go and blanch your own almonds or buy almond meal, but I'm not a purist at all. So next, okay, this is one of my absolute favourite features with the TM7. It steps you through exactly what you need, but it wants 250 grams of sugar. Even when I do it with dark chocolate, I always cut the sugar. So this recipe here wanted me to do 150 grams of raw sugar. I'm going to cut that in half, and I'm going to do 75, because I think white sugar is plenty sweet enough. So where's my sugar? So again, you can go into here and you can actually make notes, and I will do that for you. And I'll change, when I've taken a photo, I'll upload this as one of my recipes, because you can do that. You can actually totally rewrite these recipes to make them your own. So 75, and this time I'm going to put my lemon zest in there, and I'm going to zhuzh that. So if you're doing lemon zest, because there's a natural oil in the skin of your lemon, it's a good idea to do it with your sugar, because the sugar will help blend it down a lot better. Now you might have seen I haven't used the measuring cap. Oh, sorry, no, it's not measuring cap. I haven't used the cap much. It's not a measuring cap anymore. I often just use it as the stand for, oh shoot. Oh God, I've gone and created a mess here. Okay, excuse me a second. I've just, lucky I cleaned my bench before I started. I just knocked my chocolate and almonds over. Oh God, I don't want to have it all over the floor. Nope. So, just leave that there for a second. So, this is me chatting too much. So we're going to come out of here. I'm just going to bookmark that, and I'm going to come back, and I'm going to come into manual mode, and I'm just going to blend this on speed 9, 4, 5 seconds. Or until I've cleaned up my almond mess. So then, to get back to the recipe, you pull your screen down and you touch on the screen. There you go. And that is my icing sugar and lemon zest all zhuzhed down. So, on that. So I can tick off my sugar. Now I've got my butter, and I needed 150 grams of that also, so that's going to tick off well. Then I've got my 6 eggs. So it's interesting that some of the components of this recipe are the same, but some are different. So this one's got less chocolate for some reason. Baking powder, I don't need cocoa, I don't need amaranth, but what I do, amaretto, but what I do need is 50 grams of limoncello. So this is compliments of my girlfriend who lives in Tassie, and this is a Tassie limoncello called Zenith. And I'm going to tick off my eggs, and I need to put my scale on, and I need 50 grams of limoncello. So first time I've ever made this, but one of the other girls I know had made it and said it's really delicious. And some baking powder, so just bear with, baking powder. So, and I need 2, what did I need on this? 2 teaspoons of baking powder from the magazine. I'm always a little bit, because I don't use a proper teaspoon, I always give a little bit extra. So then we go next, I'm going to blend all that. Okay, so now we're going to add the reserve chocolate and almond. Now, if you have been following me for a long time, you'll know that I used to do my lives a lot more regularly, but these days, Facebook delete lives after 30 days. So I've had to now upload my lives onto YouTube. So I don't do them as often because I have a young fellow that uploads my recipes in batches for me. So when I've got a few, he does them for me because I don't have time to do things double. So mix that together. One of the tips I gave, I did an online class last night with a couple of other team leaders, and one of the tips I gave is how to hold your bowl. It seems like a really silly, simple thing, but particularly with, I've always said it with the TM5 and the TM6, but with the TM7 even more so, because the bowl is a little bit heavier because of the insulation. So you can definitely pick up your bowl here and here with two hands, but when you want to pour something, hold your bowl at the bottom, okay? Because then you've got that little bit of support there and you can tip it that way. So, and then scrape down. I love the new spatula because it is the depth of the bowl, so makes life a lot easier when you want to scrape out. So that there is missing probably 20 grams of almond and chocolate because it ended up on the floor. Anyway, so if you come back looking for this recipe later, because I always say hashtag replay so people can find these things later, but in 30 days it'll be gone. You'll find it on my YouTube channel that I'm going to pin in my page, okay? So if ever you want to find and subscribe to my YouTube channel, please do so. Now I'm gonna have to do a little taste test. Awful, just awful, yum. Anyway, that's gonna go in the oven. Oh, the other little twist I'm going to do on my sorbet tomorrow, I'm going to freeze coconut water. So I'm going to use coconut water as my ice water. So instead of just normal water, freeze your coconut water in ice cube trays and substitute that when you're making your next sorbet. You'll thank me later, okay? I also use coconut water when I'm making almond milk. So instead of just normal water, it's great, especially if you use your almond milk for smoothies. Really, really good. Top tip. Anywho, that's me for today. If you would like the info for tomorrow's in-person class, please just put info for class. It's going to be at Wynnum at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. Anyway, I will catch you all on the flip side, and remember hashtag replay. And I'll see you all later. I will remember to take a photo and I will change this recipe and I'll be able to share it with you. Okay, take care now. Bye.